Hi, thanks for tuning in to The Gods Are Dead and Into the Dungeon program. If you like our show tonight, you can definitely support us on patreon.com/into the dungeon, or if you just want to check us out and some of our other content, maybe not on Patreon, but maybe just on our website and just kind of check us out, you can go to inthedungeon.com. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and other places, and I'll have more details about that after the game. So last time on The Gods Are Dead, who wants to give the intro, the synopsis of the last game?
I mean, I could probably save
You
our
could,
good Lord of the Edge from
yeah. If you
the
roll
Yeah.
curse of
for
the
it, the
dice.
dice.
Yeah.
From the curse of the dice.
I'm gonna like not assign him a number, and it's gonna end up being him.
It landed on its side. I flipped a coin, and it landed on the edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Char.
Ah. All right. So, from where we had left off from the game before, we had gotten the red moss finally that we figured out had wild magic capabilities. Wonderful. And us not wanting to have to explain to Osire's parents that he had aged 4 years because of said moss, we decided to go the south path and completely avoid them, making it back in due time. And we finally got to get back to the wizard. I cannot recall his name.
Bartholomew Jenkins.
Bartholomew
Bartholomew
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew?
Bartholomew.
He's been a donkey the
Yeah.
whole time.
It's his real name. I'm not certain it is.
Does that make his hideout an asshole?
Wonderful.
His hidey hole.
Wonderful. So Char finally got to meet him and was very kind of off-putted by the fact that we had to wear tinfoil hats when entering his home. But
They've
we
been
wore
very
'em.
helpful.
Yeah, apparently they are really helpful, and Char learned that. I have a quote here. Can they hear us? It's written down, so that's great. We ended up telling him about the Yellow King or about the song that had been sung and showed him the books and Osire's amulet. But he ended up talking about the old gods that had kind of.
Well, you showed him the journal,
Oh, yeah, we
and it
showed him
had
the
the
journal.
symbol in it. And
Mhm.
then you guys started talking about the symbols and their meaning slash power, etc., etc.
etc. etc. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys got a little map.
Yes.
Lord of the Eggs also showed him his tasteful ancestral lower back tattoo.
Mm.
Not a tramp stamp.
No. It's
Totally not.
the traditional tattoo of his people.
Yeah. So we ended up, after talking with him, we ended up going and talking with Genus and with Char's people after talking with Genus. And we ended up getting a map from Genus, showing all the places that the sinkholes had been showing up.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes. See, I got this.
Mhm.
And it looked a little too familiar to us, so we ended up holding on to it and going to, or some of us went to Bartholomew, and talking with him about it. And what Genus had told us is that we were going to go out and where they predict the next sinkhole to possibly happen, to see if we could get people out of there or to see what is causing it.
Yeah, so several groups of people have been going out trying to track this thing. And based on the map and the symbol, you guys are going to a very specific location just on a finishing line of that symbol.
Yep. Afraid of what it could possibly conjure. Because Bartholomew's teachings, starting to affect us and worm its way into our minds.
Crazy is infectious.
Yes, crazy is very infectious. Of course, everybody else kept their tinfoil hats on. Char did not. That became important later. As we ended up talking to him, he said not. I believe he told us not to go. He to stay
Yeah.
away from it. But it's a job. We gotta go. Our boss said we have to go. We gotta go. So after talking with some of Char's people and a couple of the the Yuan-Ti, trying
Inbreds, yeah.
to figure some stuff out from glean any information from that. Not much. We head out. We headed out to this town, I believe right to the outskirts of it, and all kind of split.
You arrived in the area in which, like, the general location of the area, and then you
Yeah.
guys kind of split to try to use your own individual skills to see if you could track something.
And the plan was to meet back up explicitly.
Yes.
And we heard that and immediately ignored it.
Yes, especially after Char ended up finding a strange shadow, which ended up being a door that had once signaling to the others to come to her and to kind of figure it out and actually go down and see that it's a giant stone door that had been closed. No handles or anything to open it. We were Char was wedging her axe into about to break open the door, breaking the mechanism. The Lord of Edge said that there was a mechanism, and then I believe it was either Terry or Osire who had seen the writing beneath Char's feet. I can't remember who it was. But I believe Char was the only one that was able to read it because it was in Primordial, and it mentioned something about kneeling for the door to open. And we all kind of kneeled. And Osire and Terry are the ones that sat on the pressure plates. Click, door swung open, or slowly opened. So as we're walking in, it's a darker cave that has tentacle motifs on the walls. It sounds terrible. That's so bad, but that's what it was.
So many tentacles.
So many tentacles. Going and I made sure Char was going around and lighting the torches that she had seen so people could see. When we got into a very large room full of books and more tentacle motifs and stuff, and columns that were, I believe, glowing a little and seemed to have a liquid within them before finding this huge tank that had a giant brain inside of it. Char, being the only one without the tinfoil hat, heard the elder brain that was speaking to her, and she chose to get some information from it when everybody else was very keen on possibly killing it because it was the elder brain of the people or creatures that went after the Lord of Edge's people.
But in hindsight, it sounds like it would have been a good idea.
Yeah, in hindsight's 2020. Would have been best to kill it then and there, and to not have taken off the hat. So we end up talking, or I end up talking to the Elder Brain, getting some information more about the old gods and how they were kind of disliked by these people. Mentioned possibly in a more kind and you gave me something, I'll give you something, a little bit of a trade. We were attacked by illithids, I believe. Yes. I wrote it down. Booyah me. We had an illithid surprise upon us. They had been following us since we opened the door. That was great. We
Nobody
nearly
likes.
nobody likes
The
illithids.
worst.
No, I liked
prize.
illicit surprise, not
Yes, that's a surprise.
What's for dinner? Illicit surprise.
Oh,
Oops, all tentacles.
yes. Terry's radio friend called in and said, "Do you need help?" And Terry said yes, because I believe three of us were stunned.
Stunned.
We were
Yeah.
stunned. We weren't paralyzed. We were stunned, and just couldn't roll high enough to get out of it.
Yeah.
So his friend summons a thing,
Mhm.
and this weird looking creature popped out and started attacking for us, helping us in a sense. Before Genus came in, beat the shit out of the illithids. The brain, because I believe it was
The brain was
Lord
almost
Edge?
dead.
Yeah, the brain was almost
So
dead.
basically, how the fight ended was, I believe Terry and Lord of Edge were about to kill this thing, and then they popped out of thin air. They just left, um, leaving you and the uh, tentacle wispy goat thing in the room with you. And since Clawry was the closest thing to it, it went for Clawry, but he was able to banish the creature.
Right.
And then immediately started yelling at you,
Yeah, we
saying
got
we were
chewed out.
supposed to meet back. Like you were supposed to report in.
Before doing anything. Are you
Right.
stupid? Yes, we are.
So, and that's where we're going to pick back up. So basically, Clawry is just like very disappointed in you guys. He's like, how stupid can you be? I said that we were going to meet back up. Why would you get yourself in more trouble? And it's like, what do you think you are doing? And you can see his tail is kind of going back and forth, twitching because of his agitation. Um, you did have the cat there who was trying to help you, like, get unstunned. She's kind of sitting there, kind of just watching what's going on, and you can see um, uh, Chloe starting to, like, he's agitated, but almost you can especially Lord of Edge, you notice this because you fought with Clawry a lot, even when he's been agitated with you. Like if you haven't been able to get something or get a certain maneuver or something like that, he will get agitated, and you recognize the tail flick, like he's ready to strike out, but his hair on his shoulders and like on the top of his head are starting to stick up. They're starting to stand up.
Oh no.
Um
Oh no. He's gonna start yelling here in a minute.
yeah. And the cat behind you also starts to kind of have this low rumble in her chest, and I need everybody to make a perception check, please.
Oh Jesus.
And if it's lower than your passive, then just go with your passive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it.
There's perception. Okay.
24.
Let's hope this is
I got a
gonna
12.
be-
I can't even reach a 24.
I
It's
get a
so short.
12 with one eye closed.
I
A
got a
6?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
So
passive is
Char,
14.
you've just come out of your stun and you feel really uneasy. It was a stun that like affected your mental fortitude, not necessarily your ability to move. It wasn't like it was almost like your brain wasn't communicating with the rest of your body. So once it does start doing that, you feel uneasy, and you feel kind of shaky. Terry, were you ever stunned?
At one point, I think he got out of
I think
it
came at
thanks
one
to the
point
rodeo.
because the weird radio ritual that took place.
Okay, so it was Lord of Edge that was never stunned.
Right.
I was stunned. I was indeed
Oh,
stunned.
were you?
Oh, you were? Okay.
Did you get out of it?
I think Terry may not have been stunned. No, yeah. Lord of Edge think he got stunned because I was trying to roll an intelligence saving throw for a long time.
Yeah.
So was Osiris.
It must have been Terry. You must have gotten out of it pretty early then, because I know
Yeah.
like one of you wasn't. You had made.
I
your
think it was
save
like the
early.
second or third round when everybody was stunned that
Yeah.
that the whoever the helper is on the radio that's been asking if I wanted help for a long time.
Oh yes,
I
that's
finally
right.
gave
She
in.
broke the stun. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for reminding me. So Terry, you've been unstunned for a while, but you went through an effect on your body that you are not used to.
It was probably just food poisoning.
So like
Eat
your
all sorts of stuff.
arm, you've been able to regain like the feeling. It's not numb anymore. It's still kind of pale. It does feel weak. But it's usable. It's just it's not 100% yet. That spell did something to your arm.
Was it my dominant hand?
No, it was your left.
Okay.
That is my dominant hand.
And it's like, joke's on you, I write with my feet.
10 toes, 12 thumbs.
But for some reason, your feet feel shaky. Like your arm was affected, not your legs. So that's making you alert. Making you a little bit more aware of your surroundings. And then the Lord of Edge, you were stunned. You came out of your stun. Like part of your monk training and all is knowing yourself, who you are as a person. Because even like a monk like Clawry is able to, through like breathing and stillness, he is even able to heal himself. So just knowing your body and limitations, the shaking that you're starting to feel is not you. It is an outside source. It is underneath your feet. That you're feeling this very light tremor.
Then I guess Lord of Edge will kind of just interrupting Clara, just kind of lean down and touch his hand to the ground to get a better feel for it. It says, "Genus, I think we have a problem. Do you feel that?"
So he is still, and his like tail stops twitching, but his hair is still standing up. And he's kind of looking around, and he says, "Nobody move or make a sound. Stay dead quiet." And so as long as all of you do that, unless there's for some reason you don't want to listen to him this time, and Osire is just kind of laying on the ground. He was stunned. He has not had the urge to stand back up, and so he does do Clawry's bidding and not stay and stay still. He just stays in his same position. And the rumbling gets a lot stronger. The rocks above you and on the sides of the walls start to fall. Sand is falling up to the point in which things start to fall. Large objects start to fall. The rumbling is getting fairly severe at this point. And I need people to start making dex saves, please.
Oh no! I think I've got a thing for this.
Danger sense.
Danger sense. Yep. Oh, technically it has to be what I can see. I'm seeing the rocks, so technically I have advantage,
I
correct?
got 15.
If it's a
Is
deck
any of-
save?
Yeah, deck save.
Even with there's a nat 1 and a 4, and I have a +1 to
Jeez.
my saving throw, so it's 5.
Jesus. All right. Anybody else?
14. I actually rolled pretty low.
Oh.
You rolled pretty low. Not having a good
I
time.
did. My character has a +8.
I don't like the way Megan's looking.
We're gonna hit by so many rocks. We're gonna be
I'm
buried.
crushed. I'm gonna be buried. Definitely.
I'll be crushed if this is the way the game ends.
Huh?
What was Lord of Edge's save?
15.
15. Okay. So Terry, you and Lord of Edge make your saves.
Okay.
You're able to dodge out of the way, and Clawry at this point is having to move, and so is the cat. They're trying to have to dodge, especially the little platform where the cat was standing next to Osire. That the pool of fluid is sloshing everywhere. Osire ends up kind of rolling off the platform to dodge a few things. Char, you do end up you're trying to dodge out of the way, and you dodge one but get hit by another. So you end up taking where's my d6? You take just a d6 because it's not terrible.
That's
I
not.
can
That,
tank.
that,
I can tank that.
that's like a hand size rock. That's
Not
fine.
if I keep critting damage. Okay, so
Oh.
max damage. So that was 6.
Okay.
And at this point, Clawry is telling you to run. Hell be damned, we got to get out of here. So you're not that far. You do have this small little tunnel that your guys have to get through. Clawry helps Char get back up after taking some damage, and he says, and you can hear behind you, kind of like a snapping sound, and crumbling sound. I'm gonna need you guys to make a couple more deck saves to get out of here. Just one more at this point in time. Or strength. I will allow that.
Just catch the rock.
Or also like propel yourself forward, push yourself forward with your
Dirty
strength, or dodge out of the way, or dodge forward, like jump forward.
Yeah, I'm doing my decks because I need that advantage because I got myself a 19
Nice.
on the die.
Okay.
Got to 16.
Dirty
Okay.
20.
I got an unnatural 20, but what am I going to do about Osire?
Osire seems to. You can definitely aid him if you like.
Yeah.
He is like carrying the cat, and something about this black cat seems to be kind of lucky.
Ironic.
Yeah. But yeah, he seems to be doing okay at the moment.
Does he get clipped in the shoulder, though?
The cat's on the other shoulder. Like, she knows he's injured. So basically, as you guys are running, dodging, propelling yourself forward, you start to feel. I mean, you felt this before. You felt the floor give out from under you, but this is not a slow. This is a quick, like stones are falling out from under your feet, and you're able to use your variety of skills to get out of this situation. Unfortunately, your little area that you have to go through is starting to fill up with debris. So I do need strength checks to try and get through this material. And Clawry calls back to you, and he says, "No matter what you do not look behind you. Just go forward."
Hmm.
So
I don't think Little Edge will not look behind him. He will not. He trusts Genius enough to not do it at this point. So.
And I need
This
everybody
much
to make a
forward.
strength check to try and get through, push these obstacles out of your way.
That's not gonna be
Okay.
great.
Okay. Okay.
I got a
okay.
12.
I got a 13 in total.
I got an 8. I'm small. I'm very small.
Okay. Osire was able to make the check. So you see Osire, Terry, you're he's able to like kind of push things out of the way, and you're able to slip through. Matthew and Char, you're gonna need to you maybe use an ability of yours or something to give you that a little bit of aid to get you out of here. You got anything you can think of?
If I can burn my last key point to do Step of the Wind, I may be kind of scrambling like on my hands and knees, but my movement will be 90 at that point. So
Cool.
Oh, okay, that would be pretty good. So you just like
Oh.
moving 3 times the normal amount within the same
actually, yeah,
time.
no, that would be just me dashing against 90. So if I use Step of the Wind, I would get 135.
Okay, so
So
you're
I'm gonna
basically
try to meet my way out of here.
okay. Yeah, all right. I think that would be pretty good. You're not
Uh,
able to get the boulders out of your way, so you're able to just kind of
This is
quickly just
this is when narratively
maneuver.
he gets his extra 5 feet from leveling up. He's like,
Hmm.
oh, I need to be faster now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'd rage
Okay.
because I could probably beat my way through it, and if I get hurt, my rage sustains.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, if you get hurt, then then you'd end up taking half damage. Got it. Okay. Let's see if you what's your AC
My AC is
when you
16.
when you're raging? Okay. So you don't get
When I'm raging,
hit
yes.
by anything. So basically, your rage is going to give you that little extra oomph
Mhm.
to get out of the situation. Osire is able to help Terry get out, and he's able to get the cat out, and Clawry gets out. And you do not see Clawry stop. He continues to run, and he says, "Keep going." Um,
All right.
And as you guys are making your distance, so you have all these pillars of rocks. The sun is still pretty high where you guys are at, so you're able to get through and maneuver through these things. Occasionally, you might lose sight of each other as you round around one of these pillars. It is just, red clay. These pillars that have been pitted and weathered and stuff, and you are booking it. You guys are trying to get out of there as fast as you can. You don't necessarily feel the ground falling out from under you, so you don't feel like you're in immediate danger. After a certain point, you can hear. When Clary is telling you to keep going, he is basically growling at the top of his lungs in order for you to hopefully hear him, because the loud crumbling of the earth behind you is deafening. You can feel it in your bodies, the rumble, the cracking of the rock as it breaks under the pressure of gravity. And you can hear another sound that is not crumbling, but almost a gurgling noise of some creature, and you can hear it breach as it comes up out of the earth.
Hmm.
Does anybody turn around and look?
It depends, right? So I can dash as a bonus action, right? Because my cunning action, so I can probably consistently move very quickly if I dash and then bonus action dash constantly. Um, if I'm like really far up front, I might want to turn around just to see what it is.
Do it. Do it.
You have to tell me what your character is doing. I'm suggesting it. Clary told you not to do it.
Um, I'm not convinced that it's not going to be a basilisk or anything. So hold on. If besides just turning and looking at it, let me see if I have something in my. I have a steel mirror. Can I?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm
Clever.
actually gonna. Most of my accessories, caltrops, and stuff, they're all sort of like on my person. A mirror is probably something very useful to a rogue, right? You can
It's his
use
rear
it to
view
like check
mirror, yeah.
around check around corners and stuff. Yeah. So
Potentially an actual
while I'm
rear view
looking
mirror for
forward and not
Terry.
looking behind me, I'm gonna look forward behind me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to have anything clever up their sleeves?
No, I think
You don't
Not
have
that
to.
clever.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
Not
no,
that
I think
clever.
I think Little Edge kind of figured out that maybe Genus might know what he's talking about since.
He has been training you.
I don't want to
Um,
piss off Genus any more than I already have.
I will give
So-
Lord of Edge this. So in your training with Clawry that you've been doing for the past month, couple months, you haven't been able to, with your current travels, you haven't been able to train with him as often.
Yeah.
But your sense is right in that whatever is behind you, the aura that it's giving off, and one of the things that Clawry has been training you to sense, is, if you can think of it as like a black hole, the epitome of a black hole, and you are unsure if by looking at this thing you would be able to turn away from it.
Gotcha.
It
Okay.
is the fear it would embody. It would you would the fear that you're getting from this thing, the aura you're getting from it, you're afraid that if you look at it, you would never be able to stop looking at it.
Okay. If I'm pretty far, does it seem like it's chasing us or just heading in our direction? I don't know.
It doesn't seem like it's chasing you. It seems that it's currently it seems like its first motive was to go up. And you can it hasn't started making a descent yet. You're at the point in which it has breached the surface, and you can start to hear the creature over the crumbling of the earth. Terry, when you
Mhm.
look in your little steel mirror,
Mm-hmm.
very clever, by the way. You're gonna get inspiration for that.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
You at first see the earth almost explode away from this thing, and all the debris is and you're running, and this thing and your mirror is moving even though you're doing your best to keep it steady, and you see the earth start to fall away from this creature, and it's kind of this sickly kind of gray flesh, and you see when its mouth opens, it opens as if it's kind of got three flaps that kind of open up, and there are just these long kind of gnarly teeth, and on the exterior it almost looks like it has these sharp molars that give way to these large set of teeth in the center. You do feel a stillness in yourself whenever you look at this thing. Um, it is very hard to pull yourself away from looking at it, and you kind of feel yourself slowing down, like you're not
Oh.
running as quickly, and you'll kind of feel yourself like you've you've brought your body to its like a breaking point, and you are kind of slowing down. Your body just doesn't want to move, like you're trying to tell it to. You're telling yourself you got to keep going, you got to keep moving, but your body's just slowing down. And Osai, or your buddy who is always looking after you, kind of like slaps you on the back as he's running beside you, and he notices you're slowing down, and it kind of averts your gaze from the mirror, and he's like, "Come on, buddy! Like, what are you doing? We gotta get out the hell out of here!"
Oh God! Don't look behind you! Don't look behind you! I'll pocket my mirror very quickly, and now that
Yeah.
I've seen the absolute monstrosity behind us, there's
Yeah. And as you're, it takes a second, but you loosen back up, and you're able to keep dashing forward.
I like to think that one arm that felt all numb from summoning that creature is just like jiggling in the wind right now.
Yeah, it's just like flapping by.
Wacky tube inflatable arm guying behind me while I sprint forward.
And as you guys make some distance, you can hear Clawry, and probably you haven't been able to hear him as all this noise is going on around you. He's yelling, "Tamara! Tamara!" Like he is yelling for her because I don't know if any of you guys noticed whether or not she got out. Because she was with you when you guys arrived.
That's right.
Oh no. I don't even remember where she went. Did we see her at all whenever we were escaping?
Oh dear Lord.
Maybe she went with the brain.
So he starts to slow down as you guys have made a good bit of distance from this thing, and you are kind of out in the open. It's somewhat of a Sahara here. It's kind of grassy. There is some vegetation, but it's mostly desertous. It's very dry. It's not quite to where your cart was, but it's kind of like leading the way, and you can hear him calling out for Tamara still. But you can hear this creature. It is descended back into the earth, but that rumbling is still there. And you can kind of see the path that you guys were taking is starting to crack and crumble. So perhaps it is following you at this point.
Uh-oh.
So you can see that Clawry is starting to panic. He is calling out for Tamara. He's trying to keep moving. What do you guys want to do at this point?
I see Tamara.
Give me a perception investigation.
That's a natural 1. So.
No, you see the cat that Osire is on his shoulder, and you see like the black ears. And you're like, oh wait, no.
I guess it'd just be look around us. I don't want to stop because of if the creature's possibly following us. But she would, at that point, kind of start looking around, even looking back, see if there's like someone on the horizon in a completely opposite direction or something that could possibly be her.
Okay. I guess the same perception or investigation.
Yeah. That is a 14 in total perception.
No. You don't see a person. You do see the canyon that you guys have come out of as you had continued to make your way to the cart. That canyon is starting to be engulfed in whatever chasm this creature is starting to create. So this natural formation is no longer going to be there. Terry?
I don't know what to do. Maybe keep running. I don't have anything, so I guess my first thought was like, oh, Terry's a clever one. Maybe he'll make a big loud noise somewhere. But I don't have that. I have a silent image that will do visual things. This thing is not tracking us with its eyes. So I'm not sure what I could do to make any extra noise, unfortunately. I'm just gonna, for the most part, follow Genus around this.
Well, he's currently stopped running. He's
stopped.
looking for Tamara. Seemed to almost completely change his focus to looking around and calling out for Tamara.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to try and help him? Do you want to try to convince him to keep going? I don't know if you have any spells that would help.
Yeah, no, I can't think of any. I could try to send my familiar back in and then come back to me. I'm not sure what the I'm not sure if that would do anything or not though. Man, yeah, nope. It's gonna be way out of 100 feet range to communicate with it. Genus, we saw our last inside of the cave. Do you want to try to come back at a later time, or is this a do or die sort of situation?
Is that your persuasion?
I'm asking if he wants to. I want him to make a decision. I want him to either go back in to the cave to find her, because I'm not going to convince him to leave her, because I wouldn't leave Osire in there. And if that's the choice, so be it. Or if this thing's chasing us, she's probably safer not next to us, right? So it seems like it's chasing us right now. We could circle back around in a few hours, perhaps.
So he stops calling for Tamara. He's listening to you. The creature is no longer above ground, and he kind of looks back. He is like panicked and frustrated, and his tail is kind of flicking back and forth again. And he says, "Everybody, hold hands in a circle." And he like grabs Terry's hand and like Osire's hand.
Okay. Charles grab Osiris and kind of like hold out a hand to the Lord of Edge.
Puts on his gloves.
Yes, I'm not sure how confident I am that prayer is going to help this situation right now.
Well, fortunately for you, prayer might be exactly what we need. So you need to start believing. And you hear Clawry, not in a common language, but maybe in his more native language. He does start to pray. He seems calm. He seems like he's trying to calm himself by praying. And you can kind of hear him like go in and out of the language, as maybe like there are certain phrases that are easier to say in the more common tongue, and it is in his face. And he's like, he says, "If you're still there," he's like, "I need your help now. No questions asked. I will do whatever it takes." And it's like, but now is the time to intervene. And I need everybody to make a Constitution save.
Ooh. Okay. Oh no.
8.
Natural 20. Finally. So that is a 26 in total.
I got a 12.
Okay. Let's see what Osire gets. Oh, he got a nat 20. Okay. That cat's real lucky. So most of you landed on your feet when your surroundings are no longer a vortex of black. You seem to lose consciousness for a second until you're all on your feet in the tavern. Lord of Edge, for you and how fast you move, this is a different type of travel. And something about it just doesn't agree with your body. And you don't land on your feet. You're actually like on the floor and you are ill. Something about this travel just kind of knocked the wind out of you. So you're fine. You're okay. But this was a very weird feeling for you. Terry, Char, you're okay. Char and Osire seem to be on their feet just fine. Terry, you're a little unsteady, but you're not on the floor. Um, trying
Gonna
to get your breath back.
I've lost a lot of blood. My arm's gone numb. I assume I'm just dizzy in
Ugh,
general. We were just
yeah.
running for extended period of time. That's
I'm gonna kind of like
and
the room still spinning in this vertigo, try to stand
right.
up, and then just puke, preferably all over whoever is dining in the tavern.
Well, the tavern's been closed.
That's
There's been
true.
nobody to. I mean, it hasn't been open its normal
And our
hours.
health inspection wasn't great anyway, so
Yeah.
I puke up, the remains of eel up in the tavern, and then I reach back and make sure my swords made the journey, because if not, I gotta go get them.
yeah. They didn't like having a possum in the restaurant. Everything was pretty clean. It was just the possum really threw them off.
Yeah. Clawry doesn't really say anything to you guys. He does kind of go back behind the counter, and you can see he's got some sort of cloth that he's like putting on his face. And you can kind of see some blood seeping through. And he goes, "Is everybody all right?"
Um,
Well, I didn't know you were capable of teleportation. I didn't. You dabble in magic. I had no idea.
I hate it.
We're fine, I think.
I'm
But it's going to make it a very long journey back to search for.
Clawry sighs. He goes, "That what magic was not mine." He's kind of holding a towel on his face. He goes, "That magic was not mine, and Tamara is fine. She is always fine.
That's
You
good.
can call her a
What?
strong, independent person."
What did that? If you did,
Now, hear me out. I know you told us to not look back, but I pulled out my mirror, so I didn't technically look behind me, but there was something there. It was these massive gray flaps of flesh and teeth.
Terry, I
Uh,
believe we all knew something was there. It collapsed most.
I
of the
know, but
place.
didn't you want to see it?
Of course I did, but there was a giant brain. There was a lot back there.
I can try
fact.
to draw it for you. I'm no artist per se, but I'll do my best. And take out a piece of charcoal and
you can Clawry at this point has like gotten himself a glass and like pulled the cork out of a bottle and is like pouring himself a glass and he's like, "Would anyone like one?"
Yes.
And he'll
This
set out some
once,
more
I believe.
glasses. And
It
he
will
says some
sharpen my
more.
body if I consume.
that is
Poison.
an 18 to try to recreate whatever visual.
With silent image?
No. Well,
Oh.
yes. Now that you said it, that wasn't my idea. But yeah, now it is. Absolutely. I'm not that great of an artist. Yeah, I'm gonna silent image it. This is so much better. Of course I thought about that.
For some reason in my head, I thought you said you were going to use silent image. I guess.
You thought I was a lot smarter than me. Silent image is the way to go about it. Yeah, so I'll just
Okay.
try to, with an 18, using my intellectual capacity, my fear that's been, the mental images that have been ingrained with me with the fear experience through that
Gotcha.
traumatizing event. I'll try to show people what I saw while we were.
Give me a performance check.
I'm okay at those. And that performance is a 8.
Okay. So it's not a lot of detail is there. And
What?
just say the mental snapshot that you took. You had all this rubble around you, like you're trying to show them that moment that kind of got ingrained in your head. And you're using this kind of shaky mirror as you're running, and you're able to capture the essence of the creature.
Well,
And
okay.
you're able to get the 3 parts that open up into a mouth, and you're able to get the teeth.
Yeah.
you're able to get the overall like idea that has rooted itself in your head.
I gotcha. Well, I don't need a roll for silent image. I was trying to do it 18 for
I was
the
saying like how
mental
well you're
recollection.
able to, yeah.
Is it shaky cam footage?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
like,
that
it's
what
like
we're
a
seeing?
hologram that's like
Terry, why?
zooming, and it's like a perfect like mental image of what he got, but because it's a shaky mental
Terry,
image,
why did
it's
you
like
hold
a
your mirror portrait instead of landscape? I don't understand. This clearly would have been better had you done landscape.
yeah.
My arm was going numb at the time. I had a hard time holding it while it was flapping about.
Kalahari kind of like he's kind of like side eyeing you, Terry, probably because the fact you didn't listen to him, and he was like, it was a bold move to try and glance at this thing, but perhaps you've given us some information about what it is we are trying to track here.
How did you know not to look at it?
Well, the native, the Yuan-Ti lizard folk people, and even the Ganassi, who seem less crazy, were very adamant about not looking at it. And it was a hunch that I hopefully would have benefited us. And at that time, I wanted us to focus on getting out of there, so it seemed like the best advice I could give you.
But what would I discern the size class of a creature like that to see?
Gargantuan.
Oh, like easily the size of like a large building, huh?
Yeah.
I am not sure how we're
You
going to kill this creature.
Well, if the lizard people are correct, we are facing a god. And he looks at Terry, despite your willingness not to believe, that is the only reason we got out of there, was something intervened.
What did you
And
pray to?
it it is a old god, much like the one that this worm thing would be. It was before the old world, in a time in which my life was in danger. I prayed when I did not believe, and something answered back. And it takes. Give me a persuasion check just to see how. I just want to see how open Clawry's going to be with you.
Yeah, and as you do it, it's like he'll. I assume there is dust in this tavern. I mean, it has been closed for a minute, and so he'll just take his finger and draw the not complete, but the incomplete symbol of Sheb Nagroth. You'll think that's who we know is kind of normally against Katanathoa.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a 18 plus my modifier,
Nice.
so a 16.
I was going to say, it's like, isn't it negative? Yeah. Okay.
I'm very sweaty and covered in puke.
So he goes, it just, it introduced itself as a friend. And it takes
Oh.
sick pleasure in,
I know somebody that does that.
And he tries to finish his thought. It takes sick pleasure, and he goes, "What?"
Yeah, they introduce you to a friend. They like something talk to me through this radio, and I rummage through my bag, and while we were stunned, I felt awfully sick, and my arm went numb, and it kind of felt like it got cold and icy. But at the same time, that weird bulbous goat-legged tentacle thing came up and tried to fight the
Ah,
illithid.
yes, I meant to
So-
I'm
ask
assuming
what.
on our behalf. I don't know why it would attack you. It seemed like it was helping us at first.
So you accepted this thing's help.
Oh yeah, we were going. I mean, I was going to die if I didn't. I mean, I feel like I didn't have much of a choice given the circumstances.
Let me see your arm, Terry.
Uh, I put my arm on the table. Part of the feeling come back.
Yeah, you've got a feeling.
Part of the feeling has come back to it now. It still feels like it feels overused.
What does Terry wear usually? You've got your like scrap armor, but like under it, like, are you wearing long sleeves, short sleeves? You go.
I'm just wearing like cotton, like peasant attire. I'm wearing a leather duster on top of it,
Okay.
which is made from like different patches. There's like harder patches like
It
around the
says,
shoulders. and
take
stuff
off
like-
your shirt.
All right, but I mean, I wouldn't want to intimidate anybody with my impressive physique.
The Lord of Edge specifically looks at Terry's lower back as he's taking off his shirt.
So as you're taking off your shirt, you notice that it's kind of wet, like on
Mhm.
your shoulder.
Mm.
And everybody else can see that it is bleeding, that it is bloody. And it's kind of like come down his arm a little bit after he takes his duster off and he takes his shirt off, and you notice this semicircle scar kind of on the back of his shoulder.
Where did you get that, Terry?
Where did I get what?
The scar on your shoulder. Look at it.
I'm not
You're
upset.
bleeding.
My shoulder's never been injured before.
You're bleeding. That's why I asked where.
Oh, God, me. All the adrenaline on the way back. A rock must have hit me or something on the way out.
Through your duster.
Is it
Undershirt.
just?
I mean, I got to be honest. Sometimes I keep stuff underneath the coat. I don't know. Maybe it was something abrasive last time.
What do you think, Edge, Corey?
I think I would like to see Genesis scar.
Give me another persuasion check, please. Well, actually, I want Char and Terry to do the persuasion checks.
Okay.
You have a scar like this, Genus?
Well, he knew how to look
could we
for you
perhaps-
somehow, and he has apparently met your friend.
And he's also bleeding.
That's it's a 5.
Wow.
Oh my
I rolled
God.
a 4 and I got a +1.
2 plus 6 is 8.
It says,
This virtual dice looked like it was on 18. It was like clearly more face forward, but it displayed 2 for some reason. It was a cocked virtual die on D&D Beyond.
If it's on his face, have I seen it? I have been training with
yeah,
him for.
so Genus isn't the prettiest of all tabaxi that you've ever seen. Like, Tamara is probably one of the prettier, like, idyllic looking tabaxi. Clary is scarred. He has smaller scars, but he does have a scar that kind of like goes like through his eye and kind of around. Some of the fur will usually kind of cover it, but where he's covering is right here. So like his scar comes around like that. And then he kind of has another one that comes down.
Yeah, looking at the symbol of Shiv Nigroth that I have drawn, and I'm like, does it look kind of like?
Like holding it up next to his face, like
It looks similar, but the way it's positioned on his face, it would be really hard to track the symbol.
It's hard to get the texture on the model is all
Right. He you think perhaps he might show you, but he at this point is not willing to show the others. For maybe when I'm feeling better. This doesn't feel great and it needs to be tended to.
I suppose someone should go inform the powers that be that there is an enormous worm god that seems to have it out for our town that may or may not be up to some nefarious plot, it seems. I
Yeah.
don't know what to mention about the enormous brain. I think perhaps more than one of us should go at once, otherwise, they'll seem to be stark raving mad.
Understandable.
So there's a few different places that you can go. Currently, uh, it's more or less like the guilds would exchange this information. The Church of Apollo and the Guided Wing, they have the most manpower in the city. The leader of these organizations has been kind of taking charge in sending out scouts. He's the one who put the with other guild what do they call them? Heads of guilds. They all kind of
Guild leaders, guild
guild
masters.
leaders. Sorry, yeah. They agreed that something needed to be done. That they needed to help, and so they, whenever the word was sent out about doing the scouts, it was kind of agreed by all guilds that they would give as many people as they could, or that would willing to go to scout out, trying to track this creature. So Dietrich, who's kind of been keeping up with all this stuff, doing basically all the admin work for everybody, and kind of taking charge, would probably be your best bet in reporting this to.
If I could get maybe a like Genus's signature on something that says, "Hey, no, but really though, he's not lying," because I feel like Genus's name might carry a little bit
Some
more
weight.
weight than us.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so he'll some of like Tamara's ledgers and stuff are kind of just sitting at the edge of the bar. She didn't really see need to take them with her, and he opens one up and like rips a piece of paper out of it and like grabs her uh like a charcoal pencil and writes a very short note that says the lizard people are most likely right. We found this creature. It was um, due south at the um, marked location on our map. You guys have the map. Um, uh, if this thing isn't a god, it should be treated like one due to its sheer size. It is not a worm, and he will kind of give his mark on it. And he says,
I assume I should inform them of the enormous brain creature and tentacle monsters as well.
perhaps, don't worry about that one. I'll take care of it. It'll probably the wizards might have more information on what that was.
Or
I
perhaps
think
we
Yeah.
go back there at a later date and we pilfer the ruins of this ancient technology to make ourselves wealthy. No one has to know
Well,
that anything was there.
honestly, I now that I'm thinking about it, I do suppose that if I was perhaps to hear that there was mind controlling brains and tentacle creatures around, that perhaps it might cause a general panic.
It might. Though I do know what it is. I mean, it literally told me what it is. But I'm sure the wizards may know more. But it being an elder brain
I've
is
never
an
seen
issue.
anything like it.
I haven't either. Never even heard of it, really.
I
But
wonder if some of my people might know apparently that we once fought these creatures. We are extraordinarily long-lived.
That is new information to me. I did not realize the people. It could very possibly be true. I don't know. I'm not a. I don't know anything about this stuff, but I can report it at least.
Can I inside check him when he says he doesn't know anything
Yeah.
about this stuff? Because I don't think that's true,
Yeah,
since he
you can
has.
definitely insight him.
Oh no, that's a natural 19.
Oh,
Let's see.
no.
Insight.
Let me pull up his character sheet.
Yeah, that's 25.
Hold on.
25, Megan. What does he know? What's his favorite color?
Listen, it's not a mind reading spell. You just know, it's for checking if anything's off. You know.
I know.
What does he know?
Favorite color.
He knows something. He seems pretty exhausted though.
Yeah.
So you think maybe if you asked him when other people weren't around, he might tell you. He wasn't really forthcoming with information because the other two weren't very persuasive.
Wow,
Yeah,
he's really playing favorites here. This doesn't seem like the time
Wow.
we need to squeeze information.
And
out
I'm
of
the
our
lowest charisma
guild
one
master.
here, so he'll be like, "Yes, I'm sure you don't know anything about it. I will go inform the powers that be that perhaps we need to be on the lookout for a giant worm god that may or may not be coming to town."
Yeah. So either the Church of Apollo or and Osire, the rest of you didn't. You saw him when he appeared. He did not look good. Oh no, he did look good. He ended up succeeding, and he is with you guys. But when he says go to see Dimitri, he's like, "Oh, okay, great. Like, this is where I know exactly where we're going. Don't worry, I'll take you guys there. He's a great guy. You'll love him. He's the best. He's just got a smile that can warm a rainy day."
Mm.
So you guys are able to go down. You start. Osira is a church member, so you go to the church first, and this is where you ended up bringing some of the Ganassi who were injured in Lizard Folk, and were able to kind of under the table get them aid without having to go through the proper steps or reporting them in the city. So he does the same. You guys walk up the steps. You kind of, whenever you walk into a church, you have that front gathering room that has several rooms or staircases out of that before you enter in the main hall. He says, "Wait right here, guys. I am going to see if I can find him. Just wait right here. I know this place like the back of my hands. Don't worry." And he kind of takes off down into the main hall to see if he can find Dietry.
Well,
Edgelord, is my shoulder still bleeding, or is?
It's kind of started to scab. Yeah, it's fine. So yeah,
will
so
most likely not get infected.
Do you? Okay,
But
I
if
was
it
just
does,
about to ask
I
that.
will happily amputate it for you.
Wait. We that are clerics
You will hardly
here
feel a thing. My blades are
inside of
extremely
the
sharp.
city. I would feel more comfortable going to Osire's fellow
Would you?
clergyman.
Their skill in the art of shoulder maintenance is somewhat lacking, it seems.
Hold on now.
Well-
True as that may be, I still need this arm.
well, Osai is a special case, He just constantly hits it, so if he
Right.
doesn't take extra precaution to say
Right,
this,
listen,
then...
if you go to a cobbler every other day and tell him to repair your shoes, you know, maybe it's not going to be as good as the first time. I rarely ever need medical attention. I would be fine.
I'm sure you've never gotten tinnitus or anything. What is
Tonight, tetanus?
tetanus? What? No, I
What-
said
what is-
tinnitus.
What is
She doesn't know.
tetanus?
Okay,
Is
I'm
this
gonna go
another
with that
god?
she doesn't know.
Yeah. So you guys are in this receiving room, this front room. There's a door to your left, there's a door to your right, and then there's the main hall. You guys are chit chatting.
And we're dusty and bleeding, right? I mean,
Yeah. You guys aren't great. And you can hear talking, kind of to your right, and kind of like in the main hall too. But Osire hasn't returned yet. And what's your passive's 14?
15.
15? It sounds like the conversation that's being had is abrupt. The feeling that you're getting from the voices is they're being very coarse, abrupt with each other. But you can't really make out what they're saying.
Do I care enough whether these people are arguing? Nah. So I'll wait a little bit to see if anything happens. Like, oh, great. This is definitely the time for people to be arguing. We are doomed. Soon we will be with our gods.
Oh.
Hmm.
Everybody else give me a perception check now, or investigation now that your
Okay.
elfie friend has said something.
Let's do investigation for 18.
Ooh.
Oh, what is that? Oh, that's a nat 20. I couldn't read it for a second.
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It is.
Everybody has a
it's-
hard time reading a nat 20.
No, it's this die. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I can tell.
It's speckled and weird.
It's not just
It is.
that thing. You don't have any other dice.
I do, but a lot of them are cursed and have been getting ones on the regular.
Yeah. So Terry and a chart, after he says arguing, sounds like it's going great.
This sounds familiar.
I probably didn't care until he said that. You know what I mean?
Right, you weren't really paying attention to it. You've got a lot on your mind right now. You can hear this this talking, this kind of argument going on in the room to your right. You can't really make out the words in where you're standing, but you can. It's starting to get a little bit louder. And Osiris still hasn't come back.
Well, I for one, I'm quite curious about this yelling because Osara's not back yet, and I'm getting kind of bored.
I'm getting kind of worried. Is he dead? He was laying on
hasn't
the
been
ground for a
chill.
really long time.
It hasn't even been an hour yet.
It's
I've never been
fine.
separated with him for more than an hour.
Even while sleeping.
He's fine.
Oh, that's different.
This is an extremely long time to be kept waiting with such urgent news. I feel that perhaps it would be more rude of us to wait than it would be to barge in and figure out what is going on now that I think.
I was suggesting like listen in before barging in. Get some context first. you
Oh,
know?
now we want to get context.
Oh well, I do. I didn't hear it before you mentioned it, and now I'm curious.
Fine.
Indulge me.
So you're getting closer to the door?
Yes.
How close are you getting?
I'm gonna stay up towards the wall and just kind of get maybe 5 feet away from the door frame. Just to
Okay.
listen.
You can kind of make out words. It's a little difficult. You kind of hear like, "This is it. Can't you see everything we've worked towards? Finally!" Like you're kind of getting not every other word, but you're getting bits and pieces of the sentences. Is anybody else?
Yeah, at that point, just because he knows that Char's like he doesn't. He wants to help Char do what she wants, but he also believes that Char is a big, clumsy person and will probably screw this up.
Yeah.
And he is clearly much more adept at this, so he will kind of like roll his eyes and almost his head too, and just kind of like gently push her back and pushes his ear up against the door.
Terry, are you curious at all? Or are you just worried
how many
about
how many people
Osiris?
are in the room with us?
Nobody so far. It's actually pretty empty compared to the last time you were here. It's pretty stark.
Oh, okay. What sort of furnishings are in this area?
There's a few benches. Not a whole lot. This seems to be more like a waiting, receiving area. It's not
Okay.
really a.
I want to use a silent image, and I'm going to put it on top of myself, and I'm going to do it as a coat rack, just cluster filled with coats, and I'm gonna like stand right next to the door.
Okay. Uh, so those who are right next to the door, you can hear. Finally, we can get back to the people what they really need in such dark times. Don't speak of dark times. We barely know what this thing is. And then it's like, you've heard the rumors. People are starting to believe it's a god. There has been talks about ways to appease it. A temple's even been talked about. The people are believing in this thing, god or not. We can provide them with something real in the flesh and not just some broken stone statue. And he's like, can you hear yourself? This is a fantasy. Our belief in our own power to do great things keeps us going. We have an example to aspire to. We do not kneel down before it. And he says, the other voice goes, you will see. God or not, this creature is turning people's eyes away and putting ideas in their heads. And you hear another door slam shut.
I was gonna say, is the door open?
The door you're hearing listening through is not
I mean, is it?
it's not open, but it's not like a big soundproof stone door.
Is it unlocked?
Give me a sleight of hand.
I'm not great at this, but it's still a 13.
Yeah, it's unlocked. You don't have to twist it too far, and you don't make too much noise
All
with
right.
it.
Well, I have to edgelord it up here because. So as you say, like he's talking about he wants to get people focused on this god. It sounds like the Lord of Edge is going to slip in and just purposely slam the door behind him.
Okay, so you enter
Lord.
the room and then slam the door behind
I
you?
guess he'll open it up so it hits whatever wall very loud and rude.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of stares at whichever one was talking about worshiping it.
You don't see anybody in the room.
Okay.
The room is they have left the room. But there is another door on the opposite side. So when you enter in, and Terry, you're like a coat rack right there.
Yep.
And Char is thankfully far enough away she doesn't like get smacked or whatever with this door. Well, I guess it's open. It might open inwards. Um, so you kind of see like this really nice study, or like kind of like a prep room. There's like a desk, and there are books. There are pieces like of beautiful stained glass, with like the symbol of the sun and maybe a lyre, just artifacts of what Apollo is known for. You see like a set of like Sunday's best robes, kind of draped on the rack there. You see like a couple nice sitting chairs. But at face value, that's what you see. And you see a few books kind of opened up on the desk.
I guess I imagine Terry, even though he's a coat rat currently, and Char are looking at him rather odd. Since I don't think Terry might have heard their conversation, I guess, but he'll look back at Char and say, "It seems I may be making another sacrifice to Katanathoa rather soon."
No, please. Let's not have a repeat of my people.
Seems some people were on the lookout for a god. Had not anticipated this.
I guess they're on the lookout for proof more than anything. Well, that just kind of puts it in my mind to kill this thing, if we can.
Oh, I guess I'll go back out into the lobby. I kind of want to explore around, but I won't get kicked out of the church, I guess, since nobody's in the room.
Don't get kicked out yet.
Not yet.
I want to go up as a coat rack to the other door and see if it's locked.
Just a coat rack.
As he's
shuffling
moving,
over.
Eloy's like, he knows that
Sleight of
coat
hand.
racks don't normally move, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like you're just like waddling, trying to play the part.
That's a
I'm sure you don't wanna use
13.
Okay. It is unlocked. You do kind of hear muffled talking on the other side. They seem to be moving away, like down a hallway. You can hear like footsteps and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it is like on the other side of the room.
Okay.
So you have like to your left, like the desk with a bunch of books on a shelf behind it, shelves behind it, and you got like two little nice sitting chairs like near in front of the desk. And in one of the chairs, you couldn't see it from the other side because you're looking at the back of the chairs. But in one of the chairs, it looks like a satchel that's kind of like thrown into the seat.
Okay. Anyone else tempted to steal it?
We're gonna rummage through it. It's just who wants to be lookout while we do that?
I can perhaps
Elf
keep
eyes.
it down.
Elf eyes.
Yeah, I'll play Overwatch, not like Torbjorn, but like looking around while Terry does his thing. This seems more like Terry's bag, anyways, right? I mean, if you
No, it's not my bag.
yeah.
Okay. I want to look through not Terry's bag.
Okay.
See if there's anything.
Are you keeping up your coat rack?
Oh yeah,
Side?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
This coat rack is like shuffling.
Yeah. Shuffling over to it.
I just try to keep the coat rack just kind of centered on top of me, so it looks like a coat rack just sort of like glide across the room
and
up
then,
into
like
it.
a coat becomes animated and like goes forward and back.
Yeah,
Coat grows arms.
So you
this isn't suspicious.
You open the bag. There's a bunch of paper. There's a couple different books. Give me an investigation or history check.
Okay. Both those are the same modifier. Oh my god, the really bad rolls tonight is 7.
There are 2 books in here. A lot of paper. One of them's brown, one of them's black. That's about all you kind of glean from your investigation check.
Can I read any of them? Like, is there like a title on either of these? Or are they more like?
One of them has a title, and it looks like it's not like an old world book or anything. It has on it like a symbol of like a sun, and you open it up and it looks like
Is this the Apollo Bible? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the other one? Can I
Um,
flip through the pages?
you look at the book. You notice it has a very odd stitched texture um, to it. You don't get a great feeling from this book, and you kind of open up and start flipping through the pages, and it seems like a series. Some pages will have like arcane kind of symbols on them, some of them will just kind of have writing in them and all sorts of different languages. It's a pretty thick book. There are some blank pages even. um, you're not with your investigation check, you're not really quite sure what to make of that information.
Okay. Do we recognize any of the voices that we had heard to the?
Give me a history. Like you're trying to recall.
Oh, that's in that one.
Do we all do a history, or is this?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
have
can.
to
Yeah.
stop using D&D Beyond dice. I don't know if it's rolled like it's rolled like 2 dice over a 10. This
That's
entire
a
time.
13.
History is history. 2. That sounds about
Uh,
right.
Char hasn't been in the city very long. Terry probably has not really paid attention to city gatherings as much as probably Lord of Edge has. One of those voices definitely sounded like Dietrich.
Do I
Um,
know which one? Was it the?
it sounded like the one who was on opposition.
Got
So
it.
he's the one that said he was the one that's saying like it's our power um, that makes things
You just,
happen.
you
We
just gonna
have
do Apollo like that? Just the first next god that shows up? You just go.
yeah. He was basically saying that we don't need something else. Like it is our power. It is our um, uh, example that we follow that is good enough.
Here's the one
Um,
against
to
worshipping.
our example of aspiration, and we will not kneel down. Something else.
Okay. Well, the person Osiris is supposed to be talking to was clearly yelling at someone else. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes me wonder where our friend Osiris is. Do you think perhaps he has gotten lost or fallen asleep, or is curled up in somewhere holding his shoulder that has shattered into 1,000 pieces? I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Why do you think
That-
we could go to just get him a new one? Like, can you do that? Is it like
If
But
I was looking for a shoulder, something odd like that, I would probably come to you. And since you apparently do not have one, I would say I assume not.
Oh, I would go to somebody that tinkers or something like that. You know, so like a nice metal shoulder. You know, something that
wouldn't it be better just to get a new arm at
as
that
I'm
point?
talking to as I'm kind of like just bantering about with it, I'm gonna try to take that notebook,
You
Which
just
notebook?
the black one.
Okay. Okay.
How long has it been since Osiris left us?
Since he's left you, it's been about 30 minutes, but since you guys have kind of been rummaging around, it's been about 10-ish minutes, so he's probably been gone for about 35, 40 minutes.
It's probably
Okay,
not.
this is getting ridiculous. I am going to go find Dimitri myself.
And plus, we probably shouldn't stay around the scene of the crime here. And then
If you forget, there is a giant evil worm god. I feel like this
Yes.
perhaps. I have never been
Oh.
one for decor.
Are you just holding that book? Like, are you like a coat rack and you've like taken the book and like put it in your jacket
You
pocket
put it in
or
one of the
something?
pockets of the coat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll hide it underneath whatever sort of clothes I have that I brought with me.
Are you
I want
trying
to know
to
is
stealth this from your teammates?
oh, why would I need to do that? I'm okay if I'm okay if they know I stole it. I I will try to look for you said this was a study, right? Is there like a similar looking / size book in that order that I can put in this person's bag so that the weight isn't shifted?
Yeah. There's tons of books behind you. This book isn't like abnormously large or anything.
Mhm.
It was just a bit thicker than the Bible was. So you're kind of able to slip out another book and kind of test it out and just put it back in.
Okay, cool.
I'll go back to the other room where I know Dimitri went. Kind of pausing to look at the Apollo statue. It's like, I wonder what you want from your followers.
Yeah, so the Apollo statue that they have, you guys have probably seen it before. It's kind of like their grail. It's not a complete statue. It's basically a torso, one leg, and like part of an arm. And it has like a lyre by a leg. And it does have like a plaque on it.
Is there any symbols on the plaque?
No, it's just normal common writing.
Okay.
I would like a perception or investigation check from you and Char for what Terry has slipped into his clothing.
I don't even know if he was trying to hide it from us.
He wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do perception or history.
That's I got a 19.
In total, that's a 13 on perception.
13. So you definitely notice it's a black book. It looks really odd in texture and
Does it
stuff.
look like Tamara's in any way?
Yes. From your dream, this looks very similar to the book that Tamara was holding while she was casting a spell in your dream. It's similar in texture, in the odd stitching, coloration. You haven't really had a chance to look through it, but
Terry, that
Oh,
book you
what is
just put in your pocket when you thought none of us were looking.
That is not true. If you want me to do a sleight of hand,
Yeah,
I'll do it 'cause it's a really good modifier.
Does that look familiar to you?
I don't think I noticed it in the dream, so not
Yeah.
particularly. It looks rather
Yeah.
old. I assume if we
Tamara
could.
had that in our dream.
The
She
shared
had
dream.
That book.
With giant tentacle monster.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, do you want to take a look-see through it, perhaps?
The last magical book that someone looked through all carelessly. All of my companions started sinking, and so I would
Terry
like
did
to.
look through it, and he seemed fine. He kind of flipped through it.
Does he though? It's Terry. It's hard to tell. Perhaps we should just get it to Tamara and see if she can.
All right, just to spook him, if Lord of Edge ever turns his back, I want to use my Mage Hand Leaderman Mage Hand to sleight of hand the book into his blind.
Oh no!
You monster!
Oh
So
no!
wait, you're going to what?
I'm going to use being an arcane trickster, when you cast Mage Hand, you can make your Spectre invisible, stow or retrieve objects, or use Thieves' Tools to pick locks and distance from a range. You can disguise this with a sleight of hand check, and you can use the bonus granted by your cunning
He's
action.
basically got the arcane trickster thing.
I have a mobile hand that I'm going to try to plant this book onto his person.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh god.
Because it's spooky and fun.
No, I mean, it's fine. Like, so you're just going to try and put it in his bag or pocket?
Yeah.
Or coat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime he turns his back, I need him to not be looking at me when I'm doing it, obviously.
Well, I mean, if he
Don't
leaves
look
the
at me.
room, he's going to
Yeah, that I'll do it then.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess he's still trying to go find Dimitri since Osiris seems to have gone AWOL.
Are you going through the door that he left through? Or
Yeah, I'm going where I last heard him, so I'm gonna head that way.
Yeah.
God dang it! I have another low roll. That is 14, which I think is actually below
So
Can
you
I
just
roll?
like
perception.
feel the book like come in between like your chest and your arm.
God
As he's
dang it.
like trying to slip it in to your jacket as you turn around.
I'm gonna use a different roller that isn't D&D Beyond. This one's
and you
bad.
kind of just like feel the book now, kind of like under your arm. Just sitting there.
I'll keep it. Yes, I should hold on to this. You aren't very trustworthy.
Nice.
Uh,
Oh, now it's rolling fine. This is bull.
but
Uh,
Lord of Edge, you realize that as you like look down at it, that there's like a piece of paper like sticking out
Oh.
of the book. Like the pages are weathered and stuff in
I
this
take
book.
it. Yeah, and I'll look at it. I'll kind of turn my back to the door in case somebody like bursts through and sees me looking at it. So I'll turn my back to the door very uncharacteristically and just take a look at whatever this piece of paper is that's sticking out.
Okay. It says, please read with caution. I still do not advise this being in your possession, as it is full of hideous things. And then it's signed SP. And it's like on like a checkout card from the library.
Got it. To Bartholomew Jenkins or tomorrow it goes.
So, guys, just to wrap it up, you guys are able to kind of want like these hallways end up going back into like a stage part of the main hall. You're able to report. I assume you hide the book.
I mean, what
Please
is
do.
anybody gonna notice more black leather on the Lord of Edge?
That's
Honestly,
true. If you're gonna hide black leather, then
it
it's a
could
good
not
place
be
to-
more camouflaged.
You're able to hand him off the note from Genus. He says that he would like to hear more about this. He also has just received more of his scouts and would like to hear their reports as well. So he'll probably be come and visit to hear everybody's accounts just at this time. Some of them did come back injured, so he's quite worried about that. And he does thank you for reporting, for doing the something for the greater good. He does thank you for your help and hopes that he can rely on you in the future. You've seen this guy several times. He usually gives like they have the doors open during their sermons and stuff like that. He will oftentimes like approach the public in very like well-meaning speeches and stuff like that. He's very much a familiar face.
I think the Lord of Edge was like, "Are you all right? You seem a little irritated."
Many things are happening that are concerning. But unfortunately, at this time, I am most worried about the people whom I have unfortunately sent into danger. So, if you will please excuse me, I would like to attend to them and hear what they have to say. So, that you're able to report back. You guys all made it in one piece. Osire, you do meet back up with him. He was kind of talking to Dietrich as you guys walked up. He just seemed to have taken a long way around in order to get him. He didn't go through Dietrich's office to get to him. He went around the long way to try and find him and figure out where he was. But yeah, good job, guys. Everybody survived. Some rolls weren't so great. Some rolls were really good. And you survived, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I mean, you saved
You-
your butts.
Why
but,
do you sound disappointed though when you say everyone survived?
No, it's fine. No, I think that the mirror thing was really clever. That was
Oh,
really
was a
clever.
good idea.
That was clever, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight in our game. If you enjoyed our game tonight, or whenever it is that you are listening to it later after it's been posted in several other places, you can check us out at inthedungeon.com or at patreon.com/ into the dungeon. You can definitely check out all of our content there or on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those, and YouTube if you like to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our melodical voices. Uh, so thank you again
With
for tuning
vocabulary.
in. We really enjoy it, and we enjoy you being along for the ride. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Thank